Today is Wednesday. We're live with Dr. Nancy at lunch, and we have with us Emily Kentner today. She is a patient, and it's okay that I say that, Emily?
Yeah.
Okay, HIPAA. So she's a patient here and had a really interesting experience, and so she wanted to share her story with other moms. The goal of these broadcasts are to help moms in the community or even abroad if these spread to seek some optional treatment for things that they may be going through. So we're bringing on professionals and some patients here and there. And it's all to help moms to make the right decision and dads about their child's health, and that there are other ways and there are alternatives to just mainstream medicine. So we want to welcome Emily, and she wanted to share her story with you today. So go ahead, Emily.
Hi, Dr. Nancy.
Hi.
Let's see. Where to begin? I had my son 8 years ago, and I was telling Dr. Nancy that back then I saw a chiropractor, well, basically since I was 11 years old because of my scoliosis, but I had no idea what that could do during pregnancy or labor. So I had a great pregnancy with him. At 38 weeks, I let them convince me they were going to induce me. My blood pressure was creeping up and, all the stories, but really they were just like, let's get this kid out. And so I was dilated to a 6 on my own. I went in, they broke my water. I thought it was going to be easy breezy. I started pushing with Jude at 3 p.m. And 2 hours later, I was on oxygen. I was struggling. Jude was struggling. 2 hours later, they finally pulled him out with forceps. It was traumatic. I have lasting problems, probably always will to some degree. So after that, I was traumatized. I didn't want to have any more kids. I wanted more children, but I was terrified to have more. I just couldn't even imagine it. So we got pregnant with Georgia when Jude was 5.5, and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew that couldn't happen again. Her pregnancy was completely different. I felt horrible the whole time. I was so sick. My back was horrible. Dr. Nancy I found you, Dr. Nancy. I was just Googling pregnancy and chiropractic care because I thought there has to be someone that knows the pregnant body, because they would usually just kind of turn me on my side and adjust my hips and say, we can't do much more. And I have pretty severe scoliosis. I opted out of surgery when I was young. Well, my mom did, but I always have some issues from it. So I don't know if it was that or just pregnancy in general. So my hips felt like they were going to break apart, just all kinds of things. So I started coming, and then I think I came weekly, and then towards the end, it was maybe every 2 times a week to try to get Georgia, to try to encourage Georgia into the right position, because what you had told me and what we discovered was Jude was facing the wrong way. So 4 hours, all I was doing was trying to rotate him into the right way, and with Pitocin and all the other junk, we just couldn't get there. Mm-hmm. With Georgia, it was not going to happen this time. Mm-hmm. So we did a ton. You adjusted her and made sure that she got out of this one spot that both of my kids like to hang out in. And I don't know if it's because my hips sit differently than right. Yeah. So she would sit in this place and just give me the worst pain down my leg. I would come in and just tell you I can't walk. It was sometimes my only thing I would do because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So it was my only trip out because I couldn't bear the pain. I would drag Jude in, and here we'd come to get some relief. And then you gave me the belt, hold my hips in place, which was a godsend. I don't know what I would have done without it. So let's see. I think I saw you the day before my water broke with Georgia naturally on its own. I went to bed at 12. My water broke at 12:15. I didn't get any intervention. They kept trying to push Pitocin on me. I said, no, we've got this. We've got her in the right position. I just got on my knees and helped her to flip the right way and get there because I didn't know any of that before. So I pushed for 3 minutes. Out came my beautiful girl. She was 9 pounds, and they had told me, one doctor, not my OB, but another, said, oh, you can't push her out. She's way too big.
Yeah.
And with all other problems, you need a C-section, 100%. And we were convinced not to have it happen. And 3 minutes later, no tears, no nothing. Perfect little girl.
That's awesome. Yeah.
The best case scenario. Yeah. I felt like I had cheated because it was so good. This is how it could be compared to, it was traumatic with Jude. So I was terrified, and this was the best it could have been.
That's good. I know going into it, you were a little afraid, because of your experience before.
Very afraid. And I would try to put that aside and say, this is a different baby, different pregnancy. I know more now. I can do better. Yeah. So a lot of work to do, but she came and she was perfect. However, I was also going to share, she was extremely fussy. I didn't know that what I'd gotten myself into. She cried all the time. My son, it really was hard on him because he was 5.5, and all of a sudden he had this sister that just screamed all day, all night.
I remember that. Yeah.
Her car seat was he would just plug his ears.
Yeah. And
so I went off dairy, I went off gluten, I went off everything that I could think of. And I was in your office and I said, I saw all these newborns, but I still didn't know that you really adjusted newborns. I was completely naive. So I said, can you help her? And you said, yeah, bring her over. That was the first car seat ride that she didn't cry on the way home.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know if something was making her uncomfortable in her alignment. And so her car seat just exacerbated it. Mm-hmm. Whatever you did, so then we knew that was it. We had to start coming more often because we could ride in peace, and she slept. She was still a fussy baby. In between her visits, we would come, she'd feel better. And then as time went on, she got better and better. It was amazing.
Yeah. So a couple things that we see with babies is how the baby lays inside of you. So with her being, laying around with scoliosis posture in the muscle imbalance, she gets a little twisted in there. So yes, you had a perfect birth, but we still had what they call intrauterine constraint with the baby has to lay around. So the technique we used on you was called the Webster Technique to try to balance everything. In scoliosis, it's a little harder because, you're naturally kind of tilted, so the baby lays around that. So sometimes the babies will have some issues cranially, that will cause those issues that she had. But it sounds like she's doing great now. Yeah.
The hardest thing for me has been knowing that if 8 years ago I would have had you, it's going to make me emotional. My son has a lot of behavioral things, and he struggled with some things. He came out with a giant hematoma from where he had laid on my spine and then got stuck, and then he was pulled out by his neck, basically. I mean, the way they got him out was, I didn't know what was actually happening until he was out. And then, so I know that had he been able to come to you and get help when he was a baby, he would have, I just know it in my heart that he would have been better off. So I feel like I'm doing an injustice if I don't share it with everyone I know. Go see, if you don't know, if you can't get to Dr. Nancy, find one, find someone, because they help your baby so much. So
yeah, there's some wonderful pediatric chiropractors out there that that's all they focus on. I did a survey yesterday for a school that was about pediatric chiropractic, and they said, what makes a pediatric chiropractor? And it's like, I started thinking about it, it's like, I eat, sleep, drink, classes I take, everything I read is kids and pregnancy. That's, and that's my focus. And that's, so I keep up to date on the latest research, what's coming out, everything like that. That makes a pediatric chiropractor. Chiropractors treat kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. But in our practice, we see kind of, a little more sick kids, because this is, this is our specialty. So a little different.
I think my husband, even though he's watched me come, since he's known me, go to a chiropractor, he was a little hesitant for to go. He was like a newborn baby. In his mind, he's thinking like cracking her neck and like this crazy. And it was the most gentle. It was like you were giving her a little tiny back massage. It was so sweet. And then she was fussing. And then as you messed with her neck and touched her, she just kind of laid in your arms and in your hand. So it was amazing.
Yeah, it's like a little baby spa.
Yeah, I love it. I swear by it. I tell everyone I know, go do this. It sounds like an infomercial, but it's just
Well, thank you, Emily. I really appreciate you sharing your story because this is a really, really common story, and we see a lot of it in the office. A lot of moms want VBACs, and it's, you know, a lot of them are very successful. And so I'm glad yours was, and that you have a better pregnancy outcome than with the first one. But Jude's a great kid too.
He is great, but I feel like George's birth healed me in a way.
Good.
Like, put things back together for me that I know it's not always traumatic and horrible. So,
right. Well, good.
Very thankful for your help.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us and the other moms. Is there anything else you want to add at the end here?
Just go get adjusted and get your babies adjusted if they are funny, if anything. I had a friend that's baby's neck was stuck, and luckily it's gotten better, but that's what I just kept thinking was, oh, she could only get to Dr. Nancy because she's too far. Yeah,
that's right. And we have referrals all over the city, all over the country. If anybody needs a referral, you know, drop us a note on our website, which I posted up here, and then we'd be happy to refer you to a pediatric chiropractor anywhere in the world. So thank you so much, Emily. I really appreciate you coming on. This has been great and a great story.
Thanks.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.